Says we're live.
Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Adams, Secretary of State. I'm convening the State Board of Elections this November 28th at 10 a.m. This is a special meeting that we are calling in order to certify the results of the November 8th, 2022 general election. First, let's get a roll call. I'll start with the in-person and we'll go to the screen.
Member Corey Skolnick, Jefferson County.
Member J. Michael Brown, Jefferson County.
Member James Lewis, retired clerk, Elizabeth County.
Member Lynn Lane, retired clerk from Ballard County.
I'm going to go in order that I see you all. Member Sears,
Yes, hi, good morning. Dwight Sears, member, Pulaski County.
Member Chandler,
Good morning, Ben Chandler, member from Woodford County.
Member Johnson,
Jerry Johnson, member from Franklin County.
Member Brangers.
Good morning, Deanna Brangers, member Jefferson County.
Well, very good. We've got a full house today. Our first item is to read and approve the minutes of our November 8th meeting. I don't know that we need to read them. I'll certainly give you an opportunity to read them if you like, but notwithstanding, we have a motion to approve the draft minutes.
I make that motion.
We got a motion from member Lewis and a second from member Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. So next, everyone should have received from our office, for a second, just for demonstration purposes. This is the official results of the general election we had that concluded on November 8th. It's a big stack of paper because it was a long ballot. I have, if anyone would like to see it, Heather Quinn, my elections director, took together a list of the discrepancies and totals between the election night reporting and the SBE 49 forms submitted to us by the county boards of elections. There were no material changes. A vote here or there based on provisional ballots that were cast and not counted in the process for election night reporting. Nothing to be concerned about. I'm certainly happy to share this with anyone or append it to the record. Here's what I would propose. I would entertain a motion to certify the results from this election, except in two races. The first race would be the State House 88th District. Right now, there is a result we have of Sherilyn Stevenson, 8,214 votes, Jim Coleman, 8,179 votes. It's a 35 vote difference. Under the new recount law enacted in 2021 as part of House Bill 574, there was an automatic recount because A, the margin is so close, and B, this is an office that's included in those that get an automatic recount. The statute, KRS 120.157, explicitly states that we are not to issue a certificate of election while the automatic recount is pending. That has not been conducted and concluded yet. And so we actually lack jurisdiction to certify the result of this race. And so what I would suggest is that we skip that one, that we leave that one out. And then when we come back again next month, once it's concluded, we can go ahead and certify the winner of that race, certify the results, and then we won't lose a beat because the legislature will come in January and that term will begin in January. The other race I propose that we withhold a certification on is Circuit Judge, 22nd Judicial Circuit, Family Court, Division 6. In that race, it's a Fayette County race. We have Tiffany Yar with 36,069 votes, and Carl Devine with 35,942 votes, a difference of 127 votes. Carl Devine has filed in Fayette Circuit Court for a recount. This is not an automatic recount. This is a discretionary recount. This is of the sort that we saw numerous times this year, the right of a candidate to request a recount. Unlike in the ones that we dealt with previously this year, this actually was a close race. And so By statute, Carl Devine has the right to request this recount. He has filed in court to petition this recount. To my knowledge, as of close of business last week, nothing has occurred that, but presumably that will be conducted and concluded prior to our next meeting in December. And so to follow the precedent that we followed this year with 6 other pending recounts, I would propose that we not certify that result, that we give that process time. We're not limited in doing so by the statute. We have the discretion, but I think it would be good practice and consistent with precedent for us to do the same thing we've always done, which is go ahead, let that play out, and then back next month, and then we can certify that one too. So I would entertain a motion to certify all the election results from the November 8th, 2022 general election as they've been submitted to our office by the SBE 49s, as they've been confirmed by our office, as they've been provided to the board, with the exception of State House 88 and Circuit 22, Division 6, Family Court.
So moved.
So that was a mouthful.
I have a question.
Yes.
Question is what, there are no deadlines related to the certification of these elections. We talked about that before, that we ran up on a hard stop. Is there no hard stop that we're facing on these races?
I think today is the deadline to
Yes.
certify absent ones that are in the legal process. Is that right?
I believe that's correct.
Is
Taylor
is
can
Taylor
weigh
here?
in too. But I believe that's what happened the last time. We looked it up, I think, and we could defer those 6 to the next, once those were out of the legal system.
Yeah, Taylor, do you have any thoughts on that?
Morning, y'all. Sorry. I'm on the side of the road here, zooming in. I got a flat tire this morning, so I apologize.
Oh, goodness. Sorry.
But yeah, the deadline would be for all the other races today, except so we've got these 2 that are caught up in the recount proceedings. As Secretary laid it out, the automatic recount explicitly says don't certify until after that's wrapped up, and then the discretionary recount, I guess, for Mr. Devine and Miss Yar, it's I think probably the best practice to do like we've done since we we haven't been served with anything in that one yet, but I do know that they have filed something, so we probably just to follow what we've done this year would be best to let that play out as well.
Let me ask another question, if I may. So I understand the Stevenson race. I mean, that's clear in the statute apparently as to what's required, and so it is in fact involved in a recanvass or a recount. I'm not sure which. But I don't get the same feeling that there's any particular action in place today in the judicial race. Now, we're being told there probably will be, or they may ask for a recount or whatever, but I'm not hearing that there is an actual legal action underway. Did I mishear that?
Yes, it has been filed. It is a live action in Fayette Circuit Court. We haven't been served yet, but it has been filed. So we had a motion. Do we have a second?
I made it the link. They have to look at the link before they get my.
Yes, I'll
I
second
think.
it.
Member Lane is seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Thank you very much. Next up is our Executive Director, Karen Sellers.
I was just going to do a couple of things updated since the general election one. I was going to ask Richard to speak a little bit about the risk limiting audit that'll be coming up here in just a couple of weeks. So I thought maybe it might, before the next board meeting, so I thought maybe we could.
Right now, we don't have a firm date of when we'll do that because Fayette County is involved in that automatic recount. And of course, they were the largest county for Harp Enterprises for the RLA project. So right now, we're letting them do that because the recount pretty much takes precedence over that. So we're letting them follow through with that. But I've collected all of the SBE 79 forms, which are the verification sheets from the machines that showed the public counts and the seal numbers and all of that from the machines for all of the mail-in ballots, the absentee process in person, as well as the election night to build the ballot manifest for the RLA project. So we're handling that for them this time so that they don't have to worry about the paperwork on that. And so we're going to go ahead and finish that. And then we'll have a meeting probably this Thursday to kind of try to set a date. Now, pending any litigation or anything from that would prevent us from doing the RLA, we'll hopefully do that within the next 3 weeks, I would say at the max. So probably prior to this next board meeting, or the week of that board meeting is when we'll do that. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's all I have for you right now because of that. So we'll see where that leads us after this recount's finished up in Fayette.
Thank you, Richard. The other thing I just wanted to mention is, we're in the process of the e-poll book certification. We do not have any vendors yet scheduled, waiting on, the completion of any paperwork a vendor may want to submit for certification for poll book in Kentucky. But hopefully by the next board meeting, we'll again have an update on that as well, a little more of an update, but since we didn't bring it up the last meeting, I just thought I would say we are in the process and hopefully something will be scheduled in December, early January at the very latest. So we can get moving on that project as well for the counties. Rachel, was there anything else you wanted to mention about she's been pretty involved with it as well? If you don't, that's fine.
I don't think so. We're kind of at a holding point. So and until we get some of those certifications and have more information on that, my part in this really is at a standstill.
Right. So the other piece, which I think it has been seen, but we did a quick, just a very unofficial voter turnout for the general, and felt it was, like I said, very unofficial. We did put it out on our website. We're trying to, be transparent in some of this information to the public. But when the books closed 28 days prior to the general election, we had approximately 3.5 million registered voters in Kentucky. And as of November 10th, which is 2 days after the election, our cast ballot number was approximately 1.5 million. So we looked at a very unofficial voter turnout of about 42.18%. So I think that still is, we'd like to see more, but we're glad to get people out to vote. So
Karen, where does that rank or how does that compare historically in other midterm elections?
Richard,
I'd probably say it's around an average for the turnout. Usually around a 40 something percent is where it falls in those countywide races. So that's sort of what it is. Yeah.
Lynn.
Yeah, I think it's about, it might have been a little bit better than the normal because of the constitutional amendments, I think, possibility. But I had a lot of contested county races in a lot of counties, and that helps the turnout also. So I would expect you'll find it a little bit above a 5-year average, probably, or 5-cycle average. But 40% is somewhere in that neighborhood is generally what we're used to seeing in county elections. Yeah.
thank the retired clerks. They've been there and seen it many, many years, so I thought they probably do have a good idea.
There's a reason that was a good idea to put retired county clerks on this board.
Thank you,
There you
Ben.
go. Absolutely. Taylor, do you have anything, or while you're sitting on the side of the road?
Yeah, has anybody got any good Cyber Monday tire deals that they know of? 'Cause I'm in need of at least one new tire. So,
Too much mileage to dealing with these frivolous recounts, Taylor.
exactly, I wore them out. No, I guess the only thing I would say about the turnout is the kind of unrelated, well, related to what we're going to do, but and related to the turnout. But we had, with voterless maintenance, the now second federal election has passed, which would have been this last election, that allows us to remove some inactive voters. So when we start that process, that will give us a truer reflection of what the turnout looks like. So that's when Karen says unofficial numbers, that's just one of the reasons that it is kind of an unofficial reflection, and might be subject to change after we remove those inactive voters.
That's all I have.
But that's it.
Thank you. Other business, I see Stephanie Schumacher with us. We typically offer a chance for the KCCA to speak through the president of their association. And so, Stephanie, thank you for being with us this morning, and welcome you to address us if you'd like.
Thank you, Secretary Adams. I'm the county clerk in Mason County and was recently appointed president of the KCCA in November for a year term. So I'm very happy to be here and work with all of you, and look forward to this upcoming year.
Welcome.
But thank you. Thank all of you for another great election process. And thank you all for being really helpful in combating misinformation. I think our office certainly works really hard, but the county clerks are just so good at this because they know their voters. They're known to their people locally. They have a great deal of credibility. And so we appreciate all your work on the front lines. And you're invited to all of our meetings this year. So anytime you can join us, please do. Any other business? Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss any litigation and security. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? So we're going to go into executive session. When we come out, all we'll have left to do will be to confirm our next meeting date, which, if this works for the group, will